record. Hello and welcome again to Social Sales Links 5 Powerful LinkedIn Tips. I'm Bryn Tillman. I love it if you'd follow me on Twitter, connect with me on LinkedIn. And if you are if you like to tweet, if you're a tweeter, I guess, you can actually go to the URL tweetssl.info and you can tell everyone you're here right now, which is really kind of fun. So I'm really looking forward to this webinar. We're going to go through some really fun stuff. So there are dozens and dozens, if not hundreds, of valuable things that we can do on LinkedIn. I'm going to go through 5 of my favorites. There are definitely 5 of my top 15, I would say. So the first one is positioning your profile to engage potential buyers to want to take your call. Now, this is a big deal because we can do lots and lots of activity on LinkedIn and on social, which the very first thing that happens is it drives traffic to our LinkedIn profile. So we want to make sure that our LinkedIn profile is doing its job. And its job is to get your visitors to want to have a phone call. So we're going to talk about that. The next one is leveraging company pages to identify who you know that can get you connected to the right people. So a lot of us that are in business development have a wish list. Maybe it's 20, maybe it's 50, maybe it's 100 companies that you want to get into. If you're in B2B sales and you don't have your wish list, this is something that you would seriously want to consider. You should always know at least the top 10 companies that you're hoping to get into. And we're going to talk today about how to identify who can help you in your network infiltrate some of those accounts. The third one is get more business from client and networking referrals. I don't know about you, but my best business is often, in fact, probably most of the time, driven through referrals. So, your clients are your best advocates and your networking partners are next. If you can start to leverage your network to get introductions into the right people, you're really going to start to see some very fast activity on your LinkedIn, in your sales process. Number 4, find more prospects like your clients. Sometimes it's tough building that list of net new people day in and day out, people that you need to reach out to. And so I'm going to show you a shortcut that's a lot of fun, how to find a lot more people like your current clients. So, and we're going to do that for the people and for companies. So that'll be great. And number 5, using an advanced and safe searches to fill your pipeline on a consistent basis. So this is a feature on LinkedIn that I think is probably one of the most powerful business development tools available to us today. It actually helps us fill our pipeline. So when we get into work on Monday morning, we have really a hot new tip top of the pipeline, qualified by filters and by shared connections, a list of people that we can go after. And in the free account, you can have 3 of these lists active at all times, and then paid, it's even more. And then stick around at the very end because I have a great offer for you guys. So let's get going. The profile. The profile, again, is so vitally important because this is what is going to make or break the goal, which is to get more phone calls with the right people. So no matter how many great things you're doing out there, if they pop here, they get to your profile and it's not giving them incredible value, they're not nearly as interested in having a conversation. So the goal, and I write this down if you have pen and paper, the goal is to convert your profile from resume to resource. If you're in business development, the most valuable thing you can do to engage a prospect is to be a resource. So we're going to go through some of the major pieces in your LinkedIn that can really help you be a resource. First, a little vanity, 2 pieces. Branding is also important. Make sure you have a great banner. There's a new site called relaythat.com, like a relay race, relaythat.com. There's Canva. really inexpensive ways to make some great graphics. If you're not a graphics person and you don't have a graphics person, check out Fiverr.com, Fiverr, again, Fiverr.com. For about $5.50, you can get a banner made for you. Have a professional profile and make eye contact with the camera, because then you're making eye contact with the new connections, and it really makes a difference. These are all pieces of what I call the top of the fold. It's like that old newspaper phrase, right? The top of the fold. What is the goal of the top of the fold? The goal is to get you to read the newspaper, right? Well, our goal today is to get people, when we create our profiles, to get people to want to read through our profile. So what is the most important thing in the top of the fold? Sometimes it's a photo or an image, but more likely it's the headline. And believe it or not, this is not your title. It used to be called title. It is not any longer. It is called a headline. So how do you put a good headline together, or what is a good headline? Well, the best way to put a good headline together is to really articulate, in as few words as possible, the value that your prospect or your clients get from you. What if the lowest common denominator? And sometimes I look at this like, if you were on CNN, what would that lower third say about you? I mean, that's not a whole lot of stuff, right? It's like the breaking news line. What would that say about who you are? If it just says your title, nobody's even interested, especially if you're in sales. So mine is transforming the way professionals grow their business through LinkedIn and social selling. It's very short, and I'm going to either engage someone or disengage someone. If they are not interested, they leave. But if they're interested in what I do, which is helping people grow their business, they might most likely stay on, especially when I say learn how in video tips below. They don't have to be video tips. There can be lots of ways to learn how. So I'm going to skip a couple of other things. I'm just going to stick on the business development strategy today. And so there's lots, like profile can be a half day or even a full day class. So we're just going to hit on some of the highlights. The next piece of this is summary. I brought them down to my summary. I have a link to videos, which are really great. They're great 5-tip videos. I have an opt-in for that, so I can start to collect emails of people that are watching. But it's 100% educational. 100% educational. The next thing is for people that don't necessarily want to watch a video, I'm going to give 3 tips. I actually treat this very similar to how I treat a blog. I want these to be actionable. I want people to find this to be well worth their read and actually get really kind of excited to want to talk with me. Like, wow, that was good. I didn't think of that. That added value. Now, why is that important? Because if our goal is to get phone calls, and the way that we best engage our prospects is through insights, this is the best way to use our summary. Once you've given them a little insights, now you need to talk a little bit about how you deliver that, how you work with people so they know what you do. And then here's the kicker, and this is the most important piece of the summary, really of your whole profile, and it's the call to action. If you're in need of leveraging LinkedIn for prospecting, professional branding, or networking, I invite you to have a conversation. Here's the kicker. This is really important. Whether or not we decide to do business together, I'm confident that our call will be full of insights and actionable steps that can help you grow your business. Why is this really, really important? Because it takes the fear of the sales call away. What do you need to do when you get on that call? Ultimately, we need to offer insights. That's what we're promising. But in order to offer insights specific to one person or their company, you need to learn more about them. So it gives you the opportunity to have that little bit of a discovery call, which can help you ultimately identify if this is really a prospect or not. That first call is all about insights. It's all about them. The goal of the first call is to close for the next sales call. One of the tools that I find to be absolutely game-changing in my sales efforts, and I tell people, if you pay for one thing, pay for this, and it's a calendar sync. So I use TimeTrade and Calendly. They are both great. Right now I'm leaning more toward Calendly when I refer. It's CALENDLY.com. It syncs with a Google Calendar. If you don't have a Google Calendar, TimeTrade may be better. That does sync with Outlook. I don't think Calendly syncs with Outlook. It syncs with Google and iCalendar and lots of other things. But if you only have Outlook, then you'll want to look at TimeTrade.com. Either way, what it does is it allows your calendar to sync, and then people can schedule calls with you. This has absolutely transformed my business. I no longer drop opportunities with the back and forth and this is a good time, this is a bad time. It is absolutely transformative. I actually went and bought a URL at GoDaddy, schedule a call with Bryn.com, and it just redirects. But I know I can type that into an email or use it anywhere, and it's really powerful. So there are lots and lots of other areas on the profile that are very valuable, but we're going to move on for the sake of time to our number 2, which is leveraging company pages. So first I'm going to show you, and I don't normally show this in this webinar, but it's really very valuable. From the drop down, if you choose company pages and you hit the search bar and then you hit first degree connections, you'll get, like in this case, I have 635 companies represented in my first degree connections. So this is a wonderful way to start identifying what companies are represented in your Rolodex inside your LinkedIn connections. So this is an excellent way to do that. So the next thing I want to show you is leveraging company pages, because that was just sort of a little offshoot. So when we are in the search bar, and let's say I want to get in front of Campbell Soup. So I'm going to go click, I'm going to search Campbell Soup, and I'm going to click on their company page. The first thing I'm going to look at is, do I have first degree connections? And I have 2. It turns out, though, they're really not in Campbell Soup. They're in Pepperidge Farm, which is owned by Campbell Soup. So maybe they're not nearly as connected as I might want them to be. So as I look through this, it's very interesting because I actually have 145 second degree connections. So what does that mean? That means there are 145 people that I share a connection with. I'm going to give you a visual for a moment. LinkedIn is your Rolodex. All your connections are your Rolodexes. The power of LinkedIn is it allows us to search and filter our connections Rolodexes. So when I see 145 second degree connections, this means that LinkedIn went out to all of my connections and pulled out all of the business cards of the people that work at Campbell Soup, and I got 145. So I click on that number. Well, this is a great opportunity now for me to see who my shared connections are. But 145 is a lot to go through. So I'm going to actually drill this down a little further. I still want to click on second degree connections. I can uncheck my Pepperidge Farm. So I only want Campbell Soup and second degree connections. And maybe I want to talk to someone in human resources. You have to spell it right. That's part of the game. Currently in that position in Campbell Soup. If location mattered to me, I could go located near, and I can put in my zip code within 50 miles. And that takes me to 2. Well, how great is that? So I was able to go from my 145 second degree connections down to 2 in human resources. And 1 is a director. So that's great. And by the way, they use Boolean searches, which are and, ors, and nots. And in LinkedIn, they all have to be capital. So if I wanted to look at maybe someone called themselves an HR, that might add a few more people in HR manager versus human resources. So I can go through and see who is it that I want to have a conversation with. And so maybe the director might be the best person for me. So Keisha Bronson. I actually have 13 shared connections with Keisha. If I click here, I get to see the first 3. If I right-click Open in New Tab, and by the way, this is one of the most fun little features, not on LinkedIn, but on the internet as a whole, is right-click New Tab when you're in a list, then you don't lose your place. I can go through here and see who my connections are. I can see all 13 of them and then make a decision on who I want to ask. So let's say I decide I want to ask my buddy Scott for an introduction to Keisha. It's very simple. I'm going to copy Keisha's name, and then I'm going to go to Scott, my connection. Because Scott is my connection, I can send him a direct message. And I can put in here, introduction request. And I can put Scott, well, I'm going to put an LI, intro. Oh, it didn't pop. Let's see. And we're going to do this one more time. I have a text expander that should pop. It isn't. I'm going to go reach for it. Open text expander. So this is where I keep all my wonderful, here we go. So all my wonderful templates. If you're interested in some of my tools, let me know. There's actually a free tool on Google Chrome called This is the Text Expander. It's actually really cool. I'll show you really quick. If I paste a note, so that's my note that I'm going to show you how to use, and I put in, oops. See, now it worked. How funny is that? Okay, well, we'll have to do this another way. We're going to put in LLIR. Now when I come in here and I save this, and this is actually is free. It's called Auto Text Expander in the Google Chrome store. Now I go into Scott and I do LLIR, except it's not working today and I don't know why. It really is my favorite, one of my favorite tools, LLIR. Okay, well, we're just going to copy and paste for now. And I'm going to put, again, introduction request. Change dear friend to Scott. Oh, you know what? I lost my person's name that I'm asking for the introduction to. Keisha Bronson. We're going to copy her again. And then in my little X's. And by the way, if you want this, it's in some of my blog posts, but if you connect with me on LinkedIn or just send me a message, say, please send me the LinkedIn introduction, I will be very happy to do that. So here, dear Scott, I hope this note finds you well. I noticed you're connected to Keisha Bronson at Campbell's Soup. I was wondering if you kindly provide an introduction for me. If you could copy us both in an email or a LinkedIn message, I can take it from there. To make it easier, I've included a short paragraph below that you're welcome to copy and paste. And then I'd like to introduce you to Bryn Tillman and all those fun things. Really powerful. Okay, that's company search. Next, get more clients. More client and networking referrals. This is awesome. So we are going to visit Sally Jo Lamont's profile. She's given me permission to do it, which is why we're using Sally Jo, which is great. So we'll assume this is your client or someone you're going to network with. You're going to visit the profile. You need to be first degree connection, and you'll click on the 500. It's going to scroll automatically down to connections. And in connections, I am now going to put in the people I want to meet. So if I wanted to stick with human resources or HR, I get 205. I click the advanced search and I'm able to see that 81 of them we overlap. So I only want to see the 74 that she knows that I don't know. And for the sake of this exercise, I only want to see the ones in Philadelphia. And now I can do my due diligence. I can go through here, I can look at these folks and make a list of the people that I might want to meet and have a conversation with Sally Jo. Whether if she's a client, when we're talking, I might say, Sally Jo, I noticed on LinkedIn that you're connected to 7 people I'm trying to get in front of. I'm wondering if I can run these names by you. And you have a conversation. And 7 may become 2 or 3 warm introductions from your client. This is so valuable, and it doesn't even have to be your current clients. You can look at your past clients and see how they might be able to help. And do this with your networking people. If you're in any kind of networking group or you do one-on-one coffee meetings, Absolutely do this. It's so powerful. So before you meet, look through their connections, invite them to look through yours, and come with a list of 7, 10, 20 names and whittle them down to 3 or 4 really good connections. If you're in any kind of referral group like a BNI or a LaTip or any of those, you can, if you did this on your one-on-ones every single week, you would never even have to think about referrals again. They're going to tell you who they want to meet, and it makes it so simple, really. So that's how to get more client and networking referrals. Next, find more clients like your clients. Well, let's start first with the company. So we'll go back to Campbell Soup. And I click on Campbell Soup. And I go down to the bottom. And you're going to see people also viewed. It's very, very cool. Most of the time, they are other companies similar to your client. So go to each of your clients, look at the people also view pages, and chances are from that page you might get 1, 2, 3, even 6 new opportunities to add to that wish list. And you can drill down further, because if we now go on to Coca-Cola and we look down, there might be 1 or 2 other ones that were not on the Campbell Soup. And if we go to Unilever and we look down, oh, there might be, like Pfizer now got listed. So there's another one. So you can drill this down for a while, and then you can look in each page to see if you have someone already there that you can reach out to and say, I'm looking to work with Unilever. We're connected on LinkedIn. I'm wondering if you'd offer me a brief 15-minute call and maybe help me navigate it a little bit, navigate the company a little bit. Really powerful stuff. That's how you do it from the company page. Now, from your client's page, the same thing exists in 2 areas. There's people also viewed. So you're going to see lots of similar people. So if you look at Sally Joe, people also viewed Coca Sexton and Beth Rosenberg and Vivica Von Rosen. These are other people very similar to Sally Joe. So if this is your client, you can start to get some other opportunities, possibly right from their profile. And you're also going to see people similar to. They may overlap a little, but you might get some new names as well. And as you dive down deeper, these are actually more new names than I expected. So as you dive deeper and deeper, so even though if I go, okay, so Gail, she looks like a really good opportunity. I can look at her. I can see who my shared connections are. But now I have a new list of people also viewed and people similar to. So I don't want you to get down a rabbit hole with this. I want to make sure that you are actually making notes and really uncovering people that might be an opportunity for you. But this is a fabulous resource for building your top 50 list or your top 100 list. And last thing that we're going to talk about before we go into the really cool offer, which I'm really excited about, is the advanced and safe searches. To me, this is so incredibly powerful because this is going to allow us to build a list that is dynamic, that ultimately will help us fill our pipeline week after week. This is the magic right in here. Relationships. You want to click second-degree connections. Then we're going to go ahead and we're going to put in human resources again. I guess I'm just sticking with the 1 or HR. You definitely want to say current. You may want to drill down a little bit further if you want to. You can put your zip code in or do location, and I can put in Greater Philadelphia, second degree connections, HR. If there's a particular industry that I really want to go after, and it might be just for this, let's say I want to just go after the banking industry. Now I hit search. And I get 50 people in the banking industry that are in HR within the greater Philadelphia area that I share at least one connection with. So I see Sarah Ford. She's at the Philadelphia Federal Credit Union, and I have 20 shared connections with her. So if I'm trying to get in there, I go right to Roy Hudick and ask Roy for an introduction to Sarah. I see Janine is at Republic Bank, and I'd go right to Ellen Fisher. We have much in common, and we see each other every few months. Ask for an introduction to Janine. And of course, I can open up all of them by right-clicking, opening a new tab. So this is really valuable. We've got this great search, but if this is our ideal search, we don't want to have to keep doing this to see the new ones in our network, so we are going to save it. So I'll do test for webinar. Call it whatever you want, and you save it. Now, the free account, you get 3 of these dynamically. If you X out of them, you can get new ones. So we've saved those, but look what happens. So this was, let's see, here's VP Sales Fortune 1000. If I open this list, and this list I did in April of 2014, so it's almost a year and a half old, and there's 2,751 people on this list. But every week, because I connect with new people or my people connect with new people, LinkedIn alerts me by email, and it also lives in the saved searches. Here are 13 new VP of Sales of Fortune 1000 company that I share a connection with this week that I didn't last week. So Jeff Henning knows Joanne, and I know Joanne, and I can ask Joanne for an introduction. So these are new folks that are in your second degree connection that meet your search criteria that were not here last week. Really some major benefits to creating these advanced searches and saving these advanced searches. So we went through 5 really, really, really powerful things. Let's review them again. Positioning your profile to engage potential buyers. Make sure that you do that. And if you want to kind of just look at my profile and take that bottom statement, which is, whether we decide to work together or not, please feel free to do that. I'm happy to share. Number 2, leveraging company pages to identify who you know that can get you connected. Make sure that you've got that wish list of companies, and you saw ways that we can even build that wish list, right? With your first degree connections and or looking at companies also viewed. Get more business from client referrals and networking relationships. This is about looking through your client's connections and making a list of the people that you want to meet and having a conversation. Finding more prospects like your prospects, that sort of overlapped with that company page piece, as well as find on your clients' profiles more people like them. And last, make sure you're using your advanced and saved searches to fill your pipeline on a consistent basis. So, special offer today. We have 2.5 hours of simple to implement e-learning video course that comes with a comprehensive playbook that's included with all the templates and daily activities that you're ever going to need. If you go to monetizelinkedin.com, it was $297, but today it's $197. And I say today only. I do offer this just for transfer. I do offer this when we do webinars. I will offer this price. So it's webinar only, not just today only. But the discount code is for today only, because that does change. And today it's 100 off 923. So that's September 23rd. So if you go to monetizelinkedin.com or actually socialsaleslearning.com, they go to the same place, and you put in 100 off OFF 923, you will save $100 today. Guys, thank you so much. I guess I could put that back up. Thanks so much for joining today. I'd love to hear your feedback if you found today successful. And if make sure you connect with me. And if you want that LinkedIn introduction template, just drop me a line on LinkedIn. It is now just about 3:30. We did great on time. You're welcome if you want. I'll just stick around for another minute or two. If anyone has any particular questions, feel free to put them in the chat. If not, I look forward to seeing you on social media. Oh, I did get a question. Excellent. Oh, great stuff. Good. Excellent. That's not quite a question, but I love the comment. I appreciate it. We have a hand up. Okay, so I'm using this very new. You can just put in chat your questions if you don't mind. Not sure how to deal with the hands up. I actually just switched from join.me to web. So let's see. How do I... I love the idea that we have raised hands, but I don't know how to actually... so at least I know what I have to work on. So both Michelle and is it Beta or Beta? Feel free to... I can unmute you, actually, I think. Let's do that. Michelle, you are unmuted. Okay. Thank you, Dave. Thank you, David. Okay, yes, I unmute. So Michelle, you are now unmuted. Thank you. I'm very excited to be using this wonderful new tool. I just have to learn it. I can't hear you, though. Can you hear me? And Beta, you are also unmuted. Oh, Michelle? Okay. Okay, well, that didn't work well. You can, if anyone else wants to raise their hand, I'm happy to unmute. Beta, I apologize if I'm not saying that right. You are unmuted.
Thank you very much. It was a great seminar, and I've learned a lot. And I'll be joining you on more seminars. Thank you so much.
Oh, good. Did you have any questions you wanted to ask?
Unfortunately, I can't set a question. I don't know why. I'm learning this tool as well. So
Okay, well, excellent. Well, I'm glad that you found it valuable. That means a lot to me.
absolutely, yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right, guys, I don't see any more questions, but if you have them, feel free to ask them even through LinkedIn. And thanks so much for joining. Again, real quick, I should have gone all the way to the end. If you are interested in the e-learning, we would love to have you. Yeah, there you go. Thanks, guys. Have a great day.